This just got very real. Multiple reports reveal massive Bills trade updates that may be bringing Josh Allen his wide receiver one sooner rather than later. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bills Digest. And I'm excited to talk about this huge report saying that one specific wide receiver one is very likely to be traded by the trade deadline. But before we get there, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. 89% of you guys are not subscribed who are watching this video. And if you are subscribed, you become first to know about the biggest Bills trade updates, news, and more. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along. Well, let's get into this thing right now. Jakobi Meyers was asked this week if he still wants to be traded, and he said, quite simply, for sure. And that kind of just highlights what we've heard more and more from reporters like Diana Rossini, Jeremy Fowler, saying that the Raiders are looking more and more likely to trade Jakobi Meyers at the deadline. They keep losing games, and they have said certain players are not available, which, for example, we've heard that Max Crosby is not going to be available in a trade, Max Crosby being their star defensive player that obviously Bills fans would love to have. They've been linked to him over the offseason, but the Raiders not quite willing to go to that length. But Jakobi Meyers would be very helpful to this offense in his own right. According to Kalshi, which is basically an online trading site, provides odds for different things to happen, they're giving Jakobi Meyers a 61% chance to be traded by the deadline. And that may not seem like that much, but that is among the top of all players when it comes to how likely they are going to be traded, because lots of things can happen. Obviously, especially with Jakobi Meyers battling an injury right now, it is not so, you're not so certain if a guy's going to get traded or not. But the books are saying that, it is more likely than not that he gets traded, and the Buffalo Bills would, of course, be a top trade destination as they're looking for receivers. Now, the big question is, how does he fit into this offense? Well, those numbers are pretty staggering. 329 yards, and although that's not in line with a lot of wide receiver ones, it is well beyond what the Bills have at their best wide receiver position. Dalton Kincaid through 5 games or really 6 games technically, 287 yards. Jakobi Meyers blows that out of the water with nearly over 50 more yards, or nearly 50 more yards than Dalton Kincaid has. And the next receiver for the Bills is below Kincaid. So Jakobi Meyers would be a big add for the Buffalo Bills, and he has not had a good quarterback in his entire career, really. At just 28 years old, he's still very much in his prime, and Josh Allen would by far be the best quarterback he's played with, playing with those Mac Jones Patriots teams. I believe he got drafted, actually. His first year with the Patriots was technically with Tom Brady, but he was not at all a part of that wide receiver grouping that we now, or that we knew Tom Brady to be successful with. So Jakobi Meyers very much a significant wide receiver one target, and a guy that can just get separation. Now, why is Jakobi Meyers better than other options? Well, he is a little bit cheaper. He's asking for a new deal, but there's no telling that the Bills need to give it to him, at least not right away. Maybe they trade for him, flip him later on in the offseason. Maybe they, renegotiate some other sort of deal, because they do need another wide receiver. Well, whether they attack it in the draft, whether they sign one, Jakobi Meyers is certainly one of the more affordable options, and is the type of prototype that the Bills really like. A guy that gets separation, a veteran, a guy that can help some younger guys evolve in their game, a guy that is good after the catch. Those are all things that the Bills really are looking for in their wide receivers, and Jakobi Meyers is kind of like, an Elijah Moore, a Curtis Samuel on steroids. So where does he fit in with the team as we go? Well, here are the numbers I'm looking at. In terms of target separation, 27th best in the NFL. So better than what the Bills have on offense outside of maybe Khalil Shakir. Probably still a little bit better than him in terms of separation, but specifically against man coverage, he is the 22nd best separator in the entire league. He's even better against the zone. So 2 yards per route run of separation versus zone. We've seen a lot of zone blitzes against the Bills. That was really what got them against the Atlanta Falcons, the zone blitzes. So Jakobi Meyers is easily a target that Josh Allen can just say, hey, this guy knows where to find the soft spot in the coverage. He's going to get open, and then he's going to run after the catch. This is a guy I need to get it to. Jakobi Meyers is a top target for that. Now, here are his numbers throughout his career. He finally eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark last season with the Raiders, and that was again with 2 quarterbacks who were absolutely terrible. Aiden McConnell and Gardner Minshew, 2 really mid-tier, at best, backup quarterbacks, and he was able to pick up 1,000 yards with them on 129 targets, albeit, so certainly more than what he would likely get with the Buffalo Bills. You can argue that shouldn't be the case. They should target their best guys as much as possible. I happen to agree in that regard, but certainly not 129 targets. That probably will not be happening with the Bills. But you see, he has just been a model of consistency. Did not have a single drop last season, and has just been very solid. Jakobi Meyers has been very solid his whole career, has gotten unlucky in terms of touchdowns. His career high is 8, but the first 3 years of his career did not have a single touchdown. So that was something that fans were really confused about because he was getting open consistently. Really just his team wasn't finding him, and he didn't play on the best offensive team, so they weren't finding the end zone all that much to begin with. I mentioned that Jakobi Meyers had 0 drops last season. He's always been very consistent, as you saw from the numbers. That is what the Buffalo Bills need on offense. They need a guy who can be consistent, get open for Josh Allen, and it is going to make 17's job so much easier. I can't stress it enough how much easier it's going to make it for Josh. He needs to be able to find his receivers in open lanes, get them the ball, and allow them to run. If you pair Jakobi Meyers with Khalil Shakir, those are 2 of the best yak guys in the entire NFL. I think that this could be a really scary offense to play. It could be a team that, gives Keon Coleman some more opportunities to get open down the field because they can't key in on him as much. So that is why Jakobi Meyers, to me, is a really solid option for the Buffalo Bills. There's already no question as to whether he can fit into the organization. This is what he said, because he said before the season he requested his trade. The Raiders have not honored it, and he has still gone out there week after week and done his job. He said when they asked him about it, I'm a professional at the end of the day. I'm just trying to play good football. I have no control over whether or not I'm traded. If I'm here, I'm here. If not, I'm not. So basically, Meyers staying professional, staying the Jakobi Meyers that we have known him as. He's going to go out and be present wherever he physically is. If that's with the Raiders, he says, great. If it's not, really even better is what he's saying. And the Buffalo Bills are the perfect destination for Jakobi Meyers.